The video game I will be covering is Resident Evil 4. It originally came out for the GameCube exclusively. The release dates were January 11th, 2005 for North America. Japan saw its release at January 27, 2005, and Europe was on March 18th of that year. The creator was Shinji Mikami. The producers were Capcom. The dates of production for the series started with Resident Evil in March 22nd, 1996, and most recently was Resident Evil Revelations for the 3DS. That came out this year, January 26, 2012. The title of the video game, as previously stated, was Resident Evil 4. It's also shortened to RE4, because that's typically done with video games in the industry. The writers were Shinji Mikami again, and he collaborated with Haru Murata to write. He was also director, Shinji Mikami, solely. The dates of production were roughly from 1999 to January 11th, 2005 on its release date. As far as sales, the video game made 320,000 copies sold in the US in the first 20 days. And overall, since the release date, it's made 7.03 million units sold, which makes it the best-selling survival horror video game of all time. The platforms are obviously the GameCube. Then we had PlayStation 2 later that year. Then it came to Windows, Wii, the mobile devices, iPhone, iPad, and now Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. As far as various trivia with production, it actually went through 4 proposed versions that were discarded, one of which got reformed and repurposed to make Devil May Cry, another one of Capcom's games, which then went on to be successful. As far as audience reaction, the longtime fans, had some issues because it vastly strayed from the normal Resident Evil games, because it had always been slow-paced, not a lot of action. It was more about trying to survive, where this one strove to be an action survival horror game. Now I'm going to show a small clip. It's a cutscene / gameplay montage, and it will show you exactly how the game plays out.
Been a long time, comrade. Krauser. I died in a crash 2 years ago. Is that what they told you? You're the one who kidnapped Ashley. You catch on quick, as expected. After all, you and I both know where we come from. What do you want? The sample Sadler developed, that's all. Leave Ashley out of this! Oh, I needed her to buy Sadler's trust in me. Like you, I'm American. You got her involved just for that? All for Umbrella's sake. Umbrella? Almost let it slip. Enough talk. Die, comrade! Ada! Well, if it isn't the bitch in the red dress.
As you can see from that clip, the game is extremely cheesy, but a lot of people like that. That's a staple for the series. As far as reviews go critically, IGN gave it a 9.8 out of 10. Game Informer gave it a 10 out of 10. Metacritic, which is all of the critical resources bundled into one medium, that's 98 out of 100. So that's across the board. That's how well it did on reviews. And the Japanese magazine Fat Miss Tissue gave it a 38 out of 40, which is very prestigious for that magazine. It's hard to get a good score on them.
Something's not right. Ashley, you stay here. Ada! Better try a new trick, because that one's getting old. You okay?
I've been better.
What's so funny?
Oh, I think you know. The American prevailing is a cliché that only happens in your Hollywood movies. Oh, Mr. Kennedy, you entertain me. To show my appreciation, I will help you awaken from your world of clichés.
As you saw there, as far as race and gender goes, this definitely stick to the macho, stereotypical Hollywood action movie setup, with a white American trying to save the white female daughter of the President of the United States from a foreign terrorist group. The enemies are implied to be Spaniards, although the game only states that it occurs somewhere in Europe. And nobody made a big deal out of, the white versus another ethnicity in this particular game. But later on, Resident Evil 5 came out, and that took place in Africa, which was a very big deal even before the game came out and actually had to be modified, which is strange considering that almost the same situation is happening here, but it's different when it's a white versus black. As far as how this game addresses those issues, they always embrace it. It's obviously it's intentionally cheesy. They have everybody, striking poses and making one-liners, and that's been a series staple. But they haven't integrated different ethnicities into main roles until Resident Evil 6, when they had Sheva Alomar, she was an African, and she could be played in that one. And as far as ideological processes, as previously stated, they're obviously trying to replicate the American action movie bravado, but it's being done by Japanese video game developers, which is interesting. And it's very obvious because there's certain remarks. For instance, this final boss just earlier, as you saw, directly says, the American movies. And while this could be seen as a critique, perhaps, I believe it's just simply them being fans and paying homage to something that they like, which is American movies. And that would be the end. That's everything there. The only thing left is the credits.